So in one of his diabolical outpourings, he tries to implicate our government, the government of Guyana, the PPP civic administration, into some conspiratorial alliance with a man named Vitesh Gupta. And he draws a parallel between Vitesh Gupta's case and his case, and tries to show that the government of Guyana is persecuting him for political reasons, but the government of Guyana allowed Gupta to walk free because, according to him, there is some connection between the government and Gupta. Let me say for the public record, Vitesh Gupta is unknown to the government, is unconnected to the government, and has no affinity with the government of Guyana. Gupta, as far as I am aware, was the subject of a red notice issued by Interpol. You must know that there is an international policing agency called Interpol, of which approximately 196 countries in the world are members. Guyana is a member. It is one of the important international crime-fighting organizations in the world. And from time to time they would issue international warrants and red notices. And countries would cooperate who are members. So Guyana received a red notice in relation to Vitesh Gupta. The Guyana police force received that red notice. To locate, the red notice normally directs a police force to locate and arrest the subject of the red notice pending an extradition request. And international cooperation on these matters enjoins each police force in the respective countries who are members of Interpol to act upon these instruments when they are issued. So the red notice came to the Commissioner of Police of Guyana on the 6th of February 2024 to locate and arrest Gupta as he was in Guyana, pending an extradition request from the government of Italy. The red notice came, Gupta was arrested by the police and taken before a magistrate. On the 19th of March 2024, Gupta appeared before Magistrate Faith Magusti in Court 5 of the Georgetown Magistrates Court and was remanded to prison until the 28th of March, pending the receipt of the extradition request from Italy. He was remanded. They didn't get the extradition request yet, but the magistrate remanded him on a red notice arrest only. Compare that to the Mohammeds. There was an extradition request. Here there is no extradition request yet. And the Mohammeds were granted bail. to the tune of $150,000 each after an extradition request was received from the government of the United States of America, informing that they were indicted in that country for 20 counts, I believe, of money laundering, international fraud, and conspiracy to commit fraud and money laundering. Serious international financial crimes. Yet they were granted bail, and Gupta was remanded by the magistrate. Gupta remained on remand for several months, and I'll go through it. On the 26th of April 2024, the matter was called again before Magistrate Magotsi, and the authority to proceed, as well as the extradition bundle, were laid over with the magistrate. So the government of Guyana received the authority to proceed, they received the extradition bundle, and in compliance with the law, with our treaty obligations, they took it to the magistrate's court. On the 2nd of May 2024, the matter was called again before Magotsi, and the documents were tendered into evidence. There was an application for bail, and bail was eventually granted in the sum of $2 million. So this man spent from March to May on remand, and he was eventually granted $2 million bail. The Mohammeds were not even remanded, period. And they were granted $150,000 bail on the very day that they were brought before the magistrate. The matter called the hearing begun, the extradition hearing in the magistrate court begun between the 23rd of May 2024 and it lasted until the 28th of October 2024. On the 28th of October 2024, the magistrate heard arguments from all sides and made a finding that there was not enough evidence to extradite Gupta. The magistrate made that finding. On the 28th of October 2024 and discharged Gupta. The magistrate made that finding. The police legal advisor who was appearing for the requesting state, Italy, subsequently got information from Italy that they were no longer pursuing the extradition request because Gupta was cooperating with the law enforcement agencies in Italy in relation to some other offenses. In other words, he struck some type of deal with the law enforcement people in Italy. Those are the facts as they are documented in the public record of the Guyana Police Force. This has nothing to do with government of Guyana. The government of Guyana played the role that the government of Guyana is playing now in relation to the extradition request. How is it that this implicates the government in some conspiratorial enterprise with this man Gupta? But this is the inane rantings that emanate from Muhammad on a regular basis, Azruddin Muhammad. in his last rantings, at least you heard him say that he understands how the extradition process works. It's a request from one government, he says, at least he gets that right, to another government to extradite the person to the country making the request. Here it was Italy in Gupta's case. In Mohammed's case, it is the United States of America. The government of Guyana is not extraditing you, Mr. Mohammed. The government of Guyana is simply facilitating a request from the U.S. government. It is the U.S. government that wants you. I don't know how many times I have to say this to get this in your head. But you said it yourself. And the U.S. government wants you. They want you. And they want to try you in the United States. And we are facilitating that as we are required to do. I said repeatedly that there is not a recorded request in respect of an extradition in independent Guyana that a government of Guyana rejected, at least from the United States of America. Here you have one from Italy that the government didn't reject. The requesting state, Italy, said that they are no longer interested in the man because the man made some arrangements with them. That's the report that the police received. I hope that I have clarified that issue. And you note, I highlighted here how long this man spent on remand. And this is some conspiracy to traffic cocaine. On the international field or on an international plane, this is not as serious a crime as the ones of which the Mohammeds are accused. International financial crimes, money laundering, international fraud, financial crimes across borders that can corrupt the international financial system of the world are the types of crimes for which the Mohammeds have been indicted. They are the most serious of international crimes other than terrorism. And in the OFAC sanctions and the Reuters reports, there are connections made between the Mohammeds and terrorism. All this is public information. So I thought that I'd make this issue clear so that those of you who are listening and the press who have asked me to respond would have heard the response and will make use of it.